Hello everyone and welcome back to the B stream. Drop straight in, Harry. No time to rest, of course, after the Kilson miraculous win that we just saw. A 2-0 that I imagine has got you hyped up to cover what's about to come next.
This is going to be even better. These two players right now, if anyone don't know at home, they're boot camping. They're directly next to each other. And now they've got to play against each other. ZenAku is going to be feeling great about himself, you know, keeping his Pro League spot in outstanding fashion in that map number 5. And Av3k, we thought he would still be in a winner's bracket, still pushing up a little bit more, but sadly he did lose early on. But now both of them are next to each other, probably looking at each other thinking, yeah, you're my opponent. It's like, oh, okay.
It is banter. Like, it's so good in the sense where... you think about it like back at like the classic LANs, Harry, like obviously, you know, you'd have like an epic LAN, right? And you sat there, you have to get the tarp out, you've got to prop it up with the double chairs. They're basically just doing that, but in their front room.
It's just ridiculous. Like, if it's my house and my opponent was next to me and he beat me, and I'll be like, oh, good job, mate. You can go if you want.
Little fist bump. Yeah. Are you leaving now then? Yeah.
So, yeah, get a bit bored now. If it's just, it's just... You couldn't make this up, could you? You got to remember, like, the amount of players who are in the Pro League and coming up from relegation as well, from challenges. And the fact that early on, the chances of it matching each other is very unlikely. And now they're both, you know, I wonder what server they're going to play on. Yeah, that should be pretty interesting. But yeah, it's a shame, but it has to happen. They may have ended up matching each other at some point, somehow, some way. But it should be an absolute banger. As you know, in terms of predictions, I'm not sure what you think, but I wouldn't be surprised if, like, you know, Av3k manages to take this, but it depends on ZenAku. You know, he's still riding the momentum from the last series yesterday.
Yeah, no, I think you're absolutely right. In that sense, I would say that Av3k is definitely the favourite, and I would imagine Av3k will take it probably closer to a 2-0 scoreline than a 2-1 for the most part, but there is always potential. ZenAku, he shows a lot of courage, right? Like, he's very driven. In terms of being a competitive player, you can see that he's put the time in so much, especially when you think about, like, when he got the opportunity, right? Like, the big move to go to Poland. He's just dedicated so much time to the game. Like, the love for the game from this guy is unreal, and it comes across with how he plays. But it's his series to lose in that sense, right? It's one of those. It's a hard opponent. It's a friend as well. And they're both in the same house. Let's see how it goes as we're into it.
It's going to be interesting indeed. ZenAku's definitely relit his fire burning for this game after that last series yesterday. He's going to be feeling good. But the road is not over yet. Still got plenty more matches if he gets through this one. ZenAku takes down the Pika early. Gets to heavy for himself. Mega is still up. Isn't going to try and contest it as of yet, but he will here. Av3k go for that, gets the first rail. Av3k needs to back down here. Goes for the flank. Again, Av3k drops down, but ZenAku's looking very good at the starting minute.
Good way to kick things off. Nothing too ridiculous being done from that point. He's got the bull rush ready. 2 seconds till heavy comes in as well, and there's no contest for it, so he's allowed to add that extra bit of weight, the extra thickness to his carapace to block incoming damage. Av3k waited it out as well, back over by Mega. Good movement coming in from ZenAku. Times it back over, realizes that it's now been picked up as well, has a great read on where he is, coming up the bounce pad, and tries to set himself up, watching the angle with the rail. Scoped in, but no push out from Av3k. Av3k eventually swings in. A tri-bolt spam cascades its way across the crevasse, but it won't connect. Won't do any damage onto ZenAku.
ZenAku now just sitting there waiting patiently, wants to delay the heavy. Trying to give the audio cue of the jump pad to make him think that he's picked up the heavy and made the rotation. It's still up though. Which Av3k doesn't know about. I think he was actually far away, well, far enough to actually not hear that. That means that ZenAku now has time to push for this Mega. Oh, he fell off the step stay. He's going to try and jump back up. Still should be okay, but brings out the Pika anyway just to see what information he can retrieve. Obviously, with the rockets raining, he knows exactly where he is. Good play from Av3k. Didn't make the rotation from rail to rockets. Sorry, excuse me, from rail to heavy. Looking to see what he's going to do. But ZenAku not getting challenged too much here. But what can you do with the great plays from ZenAku, just making sure he's keeping Av3k at bay?
Who's going to get the first kill of what is effectively a LAN game at Quake for the first time since March? Who's going to take that opening frag and get themselves back in action? Nice 90s coming out, and it's ZenAku that does it. The flick there was brilliant. That's such a clean shot. And this is sick now. All right, first frag picked up 3 minutes deep. Oh, not another one as well from the elevated angle. Up the bounce pad. Comes down on Av3k like a ton of bricks.
And he's eating all the lights as well. Is he going to be able to take him down? The Borush comes in. He should be able to clean it, surely, but he's going to use the peek and misses the rail for the peeker. And he takes him down. That could be the game changer. He'll be kicking himself a little bit, but Av3k has the Mega now. He's going to go for the light just for a little bit of more insurance. Going to try and flank around to see if he is at the heavy. He is, but he's just diving straight down. No holds barred. Just going to try and clean him up with the LG. It's looking very good, but ZenAku has the rail to back him off.
Oh, that peak is so rough. Such an awkward one for him to lose out on. If he'd hit the shot, it could have been different. Another peeker getting a chance to punish as well as it will push in. Opens up. Oh, Av3k. It was nice damage. Sustaining, holding on strong. Blow for blow there. In the end, ZenAku walks away with another kill. Once again, 2 frags up. Biding his time with a rail here, not wanting to waste the limited supply of ammunition he has available to him. But he does have to concede the fight for now. And he's out of time as well. In terms of the major items, there's a long time here before Mega's back up. Still 10 seconds. You've got a 10-second split between both of the items as well. So he needs to farm himself up on those lights.
That frag due to the fact that he can switch back to the rockets from the rail animation afterwards. Very unlucky. Risky. Sadly for him, it did not pay off. ZenAku knows that the heavy's been taken. He's going to eat up all the lights for now. Waiting for the rail position. Gets the first one. Needs to be careful here because Av3k's still got a much bigger stack. Gonna see what he's up to. Mega's in the next 4 seconds. He needs to give this up. But he has the ball rush in his back pocket. Av3k does try charge him down, but so far so good. ZenAku's playing very unorthodox. He's not being predictable. He's making sure he's on his toes. Not giving Av3k any indication. And a nice heavy pickup from ZenAku. He desperately needed that, but it's been railed for his trouble straight afterwards. This is not looking good for ZenAku. He needs to back down. He needs to get away. But what route is Av3k going to take in order to try and take ZenAku down?
Oof. Flick's coming out. ZenAku very low, but he turns it. The ball rush coming in. Tried to make a big play. He will fall. But here's the benefit. He's got that huge starting stack to work with. Luckily, Av3k is able to dash his way back over to Mega and actually pick that up. So, off the spawn, there was no opening kill from ZenAku. He does still have the 1 frag edge, but Av3k goes straight in. So much damage being established here as well. Up the bounce pad once again. He's pinned against the wall with the LG, and he's put up like a poster.
Av3k now looking very good, more in control in comparison to the first half of this map. Reading ZenAku like a book. Knows on his whereabouts and just feeding himself the information with these great rotations from Av3k. But ZenAku is also doing a great job, just not giving him these rails before he goes around and tries to get the flank on. But Av3k is still keeping that height advantage. ZenAku's struggling here to find any more map presence. But against a Strog, it's difficult. We know what the mobility is like. Pika can feed the information even if it doesn't get the damage. Knows exactly where ZenAku is, but will he drop down though? No, he hasn't. He's going to give Av3k that heavy and says, okay, you've got that. We'll just try and focus on picking up the Mega instead.
Near miss. Trading rail blows there, but neither of them actually going to land. So the mirror image of stack between the two of them. This game in a very intriguing position here. 7 minutes in, 2 kills apiece, same stack on either side. Where's that next pick going to come from? Heavy's up in 1 second. Av3k, obviously the risky run of dropping down the bounce pad. He'd leave himself quite susceptible, so instead has to stick to the high ground. Head over back towards the Mega spawn. It's up in 5 seconds, so he can afford to hold for this as well for the timing. Great read, knowing exactly where ZenAku's coming from as he peeks back towards the bounce pad with a nail spam, lands the rail shot. Does at least bar entry for a few more moments against ZenAku.
Even though ZenAku's been on the back foot, doing a good job just making sure he doesn't get caught off guard. As I say that though, this isn't very good ZenAku gets railed and trapped in courtyard. There'll be nowhere for him to run. Gives up the Mega. Av3k keeping that map control. He's had a lot of the possession the last few minutes, but the stacks are still the same. It's just a matter of that opening rail or taking each other by surprise. But it looks like Av3k already won, taking him by surprise. He had the rockets out at the time. LG, good rail. ZenAku needs to back off, but predicting to go there. But I think that was a direct from ZenAku, and he's going to try and go around to see if he can catch him going for that Mega. Sadly, the rocket wasn't in the correct place. Av3k's after blood now.
It did immediately make him course correct and slow down the game once again. The game now into the bitter dying moments of the first map as well. There's about 1 minute and 20 seconds left on this one, so a lot to be done in a short space of time. Or we could potentially see this one going to a sudden death, but right now it feels like death is coming in quick for Av3k. The drop down from ZenAku, but the rail, that will cause him to run away. He has to go for the Mega now. He can't afford to hold and fight into this environment as it's not looking pretty. The consistent trades of damage between the two of them. This is a mirror matchup in every way, Harry. Every time they peak, they just trade blow for blow.
Both of them hitting the same rails and missing the same rails. This is ridiculous. Will he be able to hit him? No. If he does, that could have been it. No, it's not. Av3k just could not get the angle. But look at the stack difference. If ZenAku pushes his now, could be in for a winner. But he does need to prioritize the Mega first. Heavy is coming up. The ball is in ZenAku's court. Av3k's on 10 HP. ZenAku is the one who gets the third frag. Got 30 seconds left. What's Av3k's game plan now? What is he going to do? He's going to push straight in, use the Pika to tickle him with a bit of damage. But the rockets are flying from ZenAku. And what a great rail. That could be the frag winner here, Jack. And yes, it is, as a GG is called out from Av3k.
Big plays. Oh, man. The 8-minute plus mark was absolutely crazy as well. The consistent fights we saw where they were literally missing the same rails and hitting the same rails. Health bars just dropping in tandem. That was crazy. That was actually pretty ridiculous, Harry. I haven't seen something like that in some time. It was a pretty back and forth affair. ZenAku, though, with some clutch connections, huge plays, and he does get the first map. That's a bit of an upset in my book.
I was sweating during that. That was ridiculous. The mind games from those two, hitting the exact same shots. Just, I still feel like Av3k made the right plays most of the time in terms of trying to pick him apart here and there, but ZenAku just wasn't falling for it. He was just standing his ground on so many different occasions. And yeah, my goodness, you couldn't even make that up. Like the final minute, just mad. The fact that he trapped Av3k on courtyard, it happens quite a lot in Ruins, not Av3k especially, but just your opponents if you manage to get that first opening rail. But even then, though, catch him on spawn, that was it. And Av3k just knew straight away that was GG, and there was no coming back from that. He didn't do enough damage to even try and trade back.
It's fair. It's fair enough. Obviously, here's the scary prospect, though. Coming off of that, we now move into the second map, and this could be just as, if not potentially more ridiculous. It's Awoken for our second map in the series. ZenAku on Ranger as well, very proficient with the orb. He's always been good with the movement, up against the Galena of Av3k. Harry, this series could just be such a slog.
The B stream's more mad than the A stream at the moment.
I know. We save the mad results till you know, only the select few. This is the little clique. This is the Quake clique.
Well, you know, what a time for us to actually start casting the B stream too during this stage.
Yeah.
With a lot of these opening games, you know, ZenAku taking that, I don't think anyone would have predicted it. I certainly didn't predict it. I'm not sure if you did, Jack. But,
no.
You know, ZenAku could be on for a winner here this series. You know, if he wins this 2-0, it would be a bit of a shocker. Like, we know how good Av3k is on Ruins. Ruins is actually his best map and has been during this stage, but it has been the best map on his previous stages too. So he's going to be like, okay, best map's down. I take his map, could be an entirely different story. Needs to get that momentum swing going, needs to thrive off it. But ZenAku definitely is. He has thrived off it since that best of 5 he did yesterday and is continuing to do so much work. But Av3k, this could be his last map of the tournament unless he tries and ties things up. He needs to make something happen here.
He's got to. He really does have to, and we'll see. We'll see if that's going to be the case. If not, there could be another 2-0 being served up swiftly. We've had a lot of them tonight. But what a feat it would be if ZenAku goes on to get himself another ridiculous result. Beating out his boot camp brother in Av3k. Drops down right on top of him as well. Already, the sleeping giant of ZenAku is allowed and kicking here on Awoken. Finds the first totem as well to take that down quite quickly. and just looks for the aggression, trying to bait him out.
This is ZenAku's best map. He's going to be feeling right at home. But needs to be careful with the high tempo and the pace that Av3k plays at. So far, needs to give up this mega. Just going to back away for now. Just hold the rail angles. Heavy's not up for another 15 seconds. Still plenty of time. As long as he gets the opening rail, or maybe a decent rocket as he comes through, he should be able to grab this. 5 seconds until the heavy. It looks like Av3k's going to try and contest it from the nail. Just try to do a drive-by, but ZenAku is very patient. Dropped down at the very last second. Feed himself some information with the tri-bot for Av3k. ZenAku sitting back on that top rail. But both these players aren't really moving too much, but I think the speed of the game is going to increase after that rail Av3k just placed on ZenAku's noggin. But so far, a minute and a half left and no frags.
ZenAku. Ooh, he's been heard. Tries to bait him out, doubles back, and does a good job of it. You can see, though, at this point, it is a game of minute moves. The smallest intricacies being the decisive factor. The rail pulled out there, but it's not going to be too clean for ZenAku. Instead, it's Av3k that gets the damage off, but he does lose out on his double totems that were placed. They were spotted out, detonated by the rockets of ZenAku. We reached 2 minutes as well, with still no blood being spilt. Not a frag on the board. Av3k has middle control, but out of the teleporter, straight in to hitting him with a heavy rail. There's a nice amount of damage, bringing it back here close in terms of stack, but heavy's up, and Av3k will grab it. Running straight into the tri-bolt spam, though, Harry.
ZenAku trying to keep that top mid control whilst contesting the mega. Doesn't do any damage. Av3k could be coming in for him here. He's trying to lay so many traps down, but ZenAku's not falling for any of his traps. He's still waiting. Av3k. Here's the rocket jump. Nose in that rail room. Waiting to see if he's dropped down. Av3k has dropped down, but will ZenAku contest this better than he did for the mega? No, he doesn't. Gives it away for free. The drive-by. Av3k doesn't go for it. Has to tri-bolt. Surely has to leave this. Yes, he does. There's a little bit of damage with the rocket, but I don't think it's looking good now for ZenAku. He needs to back away. The amount of stack Av3k has in comparison is literally double, even triple now after picking up that mega. But ZenAku's still doing well, even though he's lost all item control for the last couple of minutes, keeping Av3k on his toes, but he needs to make sure to keep those totems in check as well.
Ooh. God. Hefty rocket. Still no kill, snatched away. ZenAku gets himself up towards middle as well. Big 90 there, that was nice. That's a hefty tag to find. Another one as well, leaving Av3k in a really bad spot. Clean 100 damage done off the back of the rocket. The tri-bolt's pulled out as well. He knows he has a bit of a tactical edge to play with off the back of stack. Here's the 4 minute and 30 mark where we'll see the first kill coming in. ZenAku creeping around, looking very Kilson-esque towards the middle of the map. But he does have to double back, grabs himself the heavy, beautiful execution on the nail jump as well. And he's ready for both of the major items in one fell swoop here.
That direct rocket on the tri-bolt has changed everything. Now ZenAku can finally get some control. He's going to take Av3k off guard. Couple of nice rockets when he hit the rail. Oh, that was so close. He is railable, not anymore. Picks up the 25, but he's going for him here. ZenAku's had enough. He wants to try and push in, but the LG kept ZenAku away. Good pace. Good prediction. Even though he didn't hit the shot, he's shown his map presence to know that he wants to contest that heavy too. Sadly misses that rail. Will the rocket come out? Just barely not. Av3k has the stack advantage, but needs to be careful. We're 64 from that first rocket of ZenAku. He's looking to see if he can do any more.
Ooh.
Could be a little bit different, but Av3k is the one who takes that. ZenAku was hoping he would fall for the orb and make the assumption he's going to go for the light and get away, but nope, not going to happen. Av3k up 1-0 with a totem in his back pocket.
5 minutes in, and finally, the first pick is picked up by the Polish Punisher, Av3k. He's in the game, but now he has to maintain and hold on to this. Ammunition's lacking as well, down to 3 rails in reserve, only 1 rocket to work with. Oh, The totem's paying dividends as well as ZenAku goes driving straight into one. And he's being driven up the wall now by the railgun uses that's being pulled out from Av3k. He is on the hunt, chasing him down as he'll try and scarper his way back around and stay alive. Does at least buy himself a little bit of time, but he's detected towards Banana. He kills himself, and the game goes 1 to -1. A Negi bomb coming out here for ZenAku now at the 6-minute mark.
Not the first one. Don't think it'll be the last one either. Good LG from Av3k, but great play from ZenAku to orb away in the nick of time. But Av3k can easily just rocket jump and go out there and finish him, but he doesn't want to take the risk in case he gets an opening rail or rocket as Av3k jumps up. So again, good play from Av3k. Nice, juicy, high IQ plays. Av3k's now going to realise that he was on that bottom telly the entire time. Top mid control for ZenAku, gets the opening rocket, not too much damage, but great tri-bolt shots there, both of them on a similar stack still. Av3k hasn't got that height advantage though, has the totem in the back pocket to stop himself from being railable. But ZenAku's still coming in, he's going to try and get the heavy, he does. This could be ZenAku's time to at least get a frag on the board, he still hasn't. Av3k was just waiting for him to come through that telly anyway. Wants to see if he can get a rail as he goes for the light. Sadly not. But he's going to go up for the mega anyway. Just keeping Av3k away. Still keep on his toes, even with a slight stack disadvantage. But he's going to get that mega. Needs to make something happen here, Jack. There's only 3 minutes left.
It's still certainly achievable. It's only 2 kills, but it is scary of obviously how long it's taken to even get in the game for Av3k. That same affair could happen for ZenAku. At this point, he needs to get in soon. Av3k takes a lot of damage, backs himself off, and holds down once again towards middle. Prepared on the angle. Beautiful predictive rocket. Slows down ZenAku with a nice 50. The tri-bolt not going to land. And ZenAku playing a game of peekaboo, but with a rocket launcher. Slaughters him, Harry. He's back in the fold. Still got a lot of time to work with now. 1 frag is entirely closable with this timeline.
Oh, that direct is not going to help. That could change everything. ZenAku can't go on the aggression anymore. Av3k's had enough. He wants to try and get some damage down. Not going to happen. He's going to contest a heavy, but rocket wasn't misplaced. Just made the assumption that ZenAku's going to go straight forward without any train of thought. ZenAku did. Nice rail. Vic needed that one. ZenAku now. 2 minutes left. Oh, missed rocket. I don't think that's going to do it. And he goes off the edge, Jack. He needed to make something happen. Sadly, wrong weapon at the wrong time. ZenAku stack disadvantage again. Nice tri-bolt, but still, it is awoken here. 2 minutes left. Minute 40 now. Still needs 2 frags.
It's just reeks of third map territory now at this point. Av3k has got himself back in, and he is firmly in control now. 3 frags up, with 1 minute and 30 seconds to go. ZenAku, unfortunately, not able to get himself into the game here to take it as a 2-0. But it's probably for the best for us. It means we actually will get ourselves a pretty tasty 3-map series between the brothers in arms, both at the boot camp.
Oh, they all came in, but they traded anyway. They need these 4 frags in the next minute. Against a player like Av3k, that is a tall order. Nailgun comes out though, looking very good. Only on 10 HP. Will he clean up? Yes, he will. Took only a tiny bit of damage, but Av3k. ZenAku has to push in though. He needs to make something happen. No, it's not going to happen. He does some nice rockets, gets the light to try and make himself stay alive as much as he can. But the Polish Punisher himself still stays alive. 6-0. Needs to drop this totem. Is he going to be able to make it a 7? We'll have to see as the LG is looking beautiful with his tracing. 20 HP left. Great second map from Av3k. And ZenAku is the one going into map number 3. So it looks like Av3k's the one who take ZenAku's first map. And Av3k took ZenAku. So interesting stuff. But this third map should be a doozy.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely better to see the comeback as well from Av3k, because we expected Av3k to actually have an edge in this series against ZenAku. ZenAku played it great though on the first map. It was a hell of a spectacle. This was as well. You think about up until what, like the 7-minute mark, it was really a flip of a coin of how close it was going to be. So a lot of reserve, a lot of confidence shown when it matters most, with a 6 frag advantage in the final resting place there, a 7-1 split. The endpoint man does it, locks it down, and we will be going to that third map, Harry.
Just over 1100 damage done. Av3k 50% rail. Very good stuff from him. It's just the level of play from Av3k. You know, so many high IQ just plays in general, which we just can't comprehend. The stuff he does, you know, it's so unorthodox. It's very, very hard to predict. But ZenAku, we haven't really seen this from him at all about stage 1, but he's just playing incredibly well. You know, he's obviously the boot camping he's done over the last week has really worked out for him. It's relit that fire in his belly, especially from the best of 5 I mentioned a couple of times already beforehand. But ZenAku could take this, but Av3k, the way he was playing just now, I feel like he's stabilized, you know, in terms of his mental fortitude, getting ready for this 3rd and final map.
Oh yeah, especially when you think about how close that was in terms of the smallest minute differences. Like literally, I think it was a matter of like 3 or 4 seconds on a mistime of an item effectively that gave him an opportunity to get into the game. If that wasn't there, maybe that door was never open for Av3k and that would have been a 2-0. As well, you've got to keep in mind that this is the lower bracket. This, you know, this isn't really where you've got the land of opportunity ahead of you. This is do or die. So a lot riding on this. The fact we get a 3rd map out of it, it's the dream scenario. It is ideal. We are going into a Molten Falls. In terms of what we're working with here, do you think there's an opportunity now for ZenAku, or are we looking at Av3k coming back and close this one out?
Well, it's the Anarchy versus the Sorlag. You know, light versus heavy. Depends on ZenAku's motives going into this. Av3k, I've seen him play this a couple of times, especially against players like Kilson, and he's been doing very, very well. You know, the endpoint man is looking to go super far in this bracket, not go out so early. ZenAku, though, that's the thing with the inject and everything he has in his back pocket. Depends when he wants to use it, how he wants to do, maybe if he's got the lead towards the end. But Av3k is such a strong opponent, but we'll have to see whose life is going to be still on the line, which one is going to actually be able to be taken down, who is going to end their tournament life here. We're going to start off with ZenAku, Jack.
Okay. ZenAku's POV. The Australian All-Star getting aggressive early on as the rails are pulled out, and that's back-to-back 90s. Nice work being done. Gets a bit of spit on the face, and he's taking a lot of tick damage. Has to grab that little light health bubble to buff out the damage. Whoa. Luckily, he's got the inject as well because he was being pummeled by Av3k. That was a lot dumped on him early on. First 30 seconds in, and already so much damage being brought to the forefront by both of them.
What a time to use that inject. That rail was so important. Gonna try and contest the Mega anyway, but didn't really get that much damage done. ZenAku standing his ground. See if it can do anything to stop Av3k from going into that rail jump pad. Finally, hits a 34, only a tickle. But ZenAku's been very aggressive considering the stack advantage Av3k has. But it doesn't matter, ZenAku. Won't he do much here? Has an inject in his back pocket again. And just to get the light, but he's given away his map position. He knows he can't go for this Mega, but maybe he can catch him flying through. And yes, he does. Great rail from ZenAku. Maybe going for the second. Oh, the LG was flying. Gets away, but the damage ZenAku did. Could have been his opening opportunity to get that first frag, but decides to leave it and go for the heavy, which is understandable.
Av3k. Oh. Low here, looking rough around the edges as well. He's got to recoil. Lucky to hold on. 10 HP. There's a few items to work with here, but even the spit won't save him as ZenAku goes straight up the bounce pad with the shot he pulled out and punishes him. Farms up the items as well to take away the potential of an edge from Av3k. Av3k straight back in. He will have that big starting stack, so he can try and throw his weight around a little bit. Let's grab the heavy as well, so building himself up even more. ZenAku just holds. Again, slowing down the tempo slightly. You do have the first pick to play with, so there's no reason to get too ridiculous. Oh, what is this? Look at him! He's just swinging in. I'm surprised ZenAku's actually been able to hold his own there and do enough damage to force him back. The inject coming in clutch.
That first rocket just trapped him in the corner. Can Av3k do something here? ZenAku's on 44 HP. If he goes to the heavy, oh, that's huge. Av3k managed to get it over him. ZenAku didn't want to take the risk of dropping down and maybe dying. Because of that great LG to rail, that's more than enough to give him a little bit of breathing space. And he does have the inject in a couple of seconds if he sees Av3k approach him. But now, ZenAku's main goal needs to get these lights. Gets the first one, which is more than enough. But what's he going to do against the heavy? Is he going to try and contest it? He's realised that Av3k's already trying to push him. He needs to leave it. Just go for the Mega instead. 10 seconds left. Av3k has enough time to try and chase that. But ZenAku's waiting for the first rail. Gets the first one. Good stuff. Nice chip damage. But it's not going to stop Av3k from going for that Mega. As he's going to fire a few rockets down. To get anything done. He's waiting to go up the jump pad. Good LG. ZenAku's just doing such a great job keeping him at bay. As soon as he gets one of his items, that's exactly what he needs to do. Heavy coming up in 5. He has the inject. What is Av3k going to do? Is he going to take another risk and go for this heavy? I'm not really too sure. Oh, the rocket misses. And ZenAku gets the railjack.
God damn. All right. For a 1-frag game in 4 minutes, there's been so much action. And talking of action, the director himself coming in. As it will be the curtain call for Av3k. He's slain once more. ZenAku, huge spot here. Overcoming the odds. Against the end point lad himself. Av3k, 2 frags to have to grind out. It's molten as well, so it can be rough at times, especially when you keep in the mind that he's on Anarchy, so he can just breeze his way around. Oh, he's doing 50 in a 30-mile-an-hour zone.
You're not wrong there in the slightest. ZenAku, this is the best I've seen him play in 3 months. Like,
yeah, he's looking really
unreal.
good.
He's just looking fresh, doing everything he can, making the right plays at the right time, contesting the items when necessary, hitting the shots. But Av3k, we cannot underestimate him. Still has plenty of time. Got 5 minutes and 10 seconds left on the clock. And Av3k's got such a huge stack that ZenAku needs to hit all these rails to keep him at bay, to stop him with the mobility of the speed he's gaining.
5-minute warning.
5-minute warning coming in. And warning bells being run for Av3k. It's that rail connection. It's a nice amount of damage. Good tracing as well with the LG. Tries to get the fadeaway rail off. Heavy's up and they're fighting for this. He keeps him floating up in the air. He'll drop down onto it, but he's got to push out. The splash damage from the rocket's not landing, but look how low both of them are. The stack almost mirrored at this point. It's like yin and yang with these two playing. Oof. He's trying to get the LG off as well. Primed. Just teasing on the lip. The push instead looking better from Av3k. As the tri-bolt goes down, ZenAku will get himself the Mega as well, so winning out on a clutch major item to at least replenish his HP. Put himself into a good spot here. Didn't actually catch him towards the stairway though, and he's losing a lot of the edge.
That's what ZenAku did earlier when he was on rail. He could have picked up the light, but only would have gained him 10 armor, so if he is on the back foot, he could have grabbed it straight away. Again, good nutrition from ZenAku. Picks up the shard again first, then the heavy. Being very patient. Still waiting to see what he can do. Av3k's on the back foot again. He's got 3 minutes and 50 left on the clock. He needs to try show a bit more map presence. He's been looking good now and again. Great contention of the items, but ZenAku's got the stack and the inject. And could he even go from here? He should be able to. Yeah, he's going straight in. Takes down Av3k. 3.5 minutes left here, Jack. ZenAku's looking fresh.
Funky, funky, fresh with a style to match. Ooh, here we go. Style points coming out for ZenAku though at this point. The awesome Australian leaving a legacy. As if he can maintain this for another 3 minutes, he will win. He'll take the series 2-1. He'll move on. Av3k will be out of the tournament. He'll fall from grace in the lower bracket, and ZenAku will continue on his quest to try and have a hell of a run here. There's an opportunity for that. There is always that slight chance that maybe Av3k can turn it around. We know how good he is. We know how talented he is. But he needs to show us that soon. ZenAku's just winning out every time it comes to major items. He's had Mega whenever he wants it, but it doesn't matter if the damage is being picked straight back up by the rail. They trade though. 1 blow per 1 blow. I don't know how he's hit that foot shot, but Av3k really low because of it. Instantly retreating. They will bypass one another like ships in the night. He was ready for the push, expecting him to come up through the teleporter, but he doesn't. Uses the inject to win out on the heavy spawn as well. And this is really quite scary for Av3k.
ZenAku's awareness is just ready for every kind of situation Av3k is giving it to him. Av3k has to back away. This is Molten Falls, remember, Jack. It's difficult to catch up to your opponent when you're a couple of frags behind, but when you get a player this passive, waiting to fight on his terms, not barely missing any rails. Look at the percentages. ZenAku 53, Av3k 36, but it's understandable with the hitbox of the Anarchy. Look at this though now, takes him down again, 4-0 in favor of ZenAku. Another match I'm sure none of us predicted. Now it's just, man, it looks like Av3k is going to call the GG early, and ZenAku is the one who makes it through in the 2-1 series scoreline.
He's done it. He's turned up a 2-1 split. And he's locked it down. That's huge. That is a hell of a result from ZenAku. Keeps himself alive, going to be grinding his way through the lower bracket here, whereas Av3k falls, leaves the competition now. That's crazy. That's actually a pretty miraculous result, really, when you think about it. Av3k is no easy opponent, Harry.
Like I said, ZenAku, that's the best I've seen him play in 3 months. His style was, shall I be a bit aggressive? Yeah. Shall I, a bit more calculated, methodical? Oh, yeah, go on then. But he kind of meshed the both together. That's the counter aggression we've been waiting to see. I've been waiting to see ZenAku play like that for such a long time. I'm sure a lot of us have as well. And for him to finally release it when he actually needed to and establish himself as a great player during that series. But Av3k, commiserations to him. He tried to do everything he could. He didn't even play bad. He still played very, very strongly, but it just wasn't to be. But the endpoint man himself, sadly, has been taken down, is out of the tournament, but it's just one of those things that ZenAku is going to move on.
Yeah, well, there you go. Av3k unfortunately leaves, but ZenAku continues on his quest. Will continue, though, as well, when we return here on the B stream after a break.